Art critique time! Welcome, friends, to art critique for June. Number, I think, 5 or 4? I don't know, it doesn't matter. So, guys, we have 2 friends from the Art Critique Club who have submitted their work to the Discord again. Dan and Sirius, 2 of my ongoing students. So thanks very much, guys, for continuously giving me something to do in the Art Critique Club. Very nice. Always love to see your work. So yeah, nothing else to say. Then let's hit into it. Let's have a look at your work and let me give you some hopefully useful advice. Let's go. We start with Dan today, and I'm going to read what you texted me about this. So this is the first piece for this critique. The first, I think the only one, right? It's a boy who dreams about space tourism. And once again, you would be happy if the focus of the criticism was on the colors. The picture looks a little boring, and I think this is due to the colors. Yes, Dan, I think you are very right about this. I think this is actually very correct. So you have a good clue about what may be boring in this piece, and I'm going to give you a couple of hints what you could do better, and probably 1 or 2 other things that I see here that you could improve. Apart from the colors, let's take 5 minutes for the colors. I have to have a look at my watch to see how long the critique will be. But let's take 5 for the colors, and then we'll see where we go with the other tips I can give you. So first of all, yes, I think you can definitely improve on the colors here, because I have the feeling that all the colors you use here are a bit flat. So it looks a bit like there's a gray, you're looking through a gray glass or something into the scene. So it misses a bit of brilliance, And let's have a look at the curves. So you just go to curves. Any app has it, Photoshop, Clip Studio, everywhere. And you see the different, how the different colors are on a line from black to white, So left is I think left is black and right is white. I'm not sure, but you see here you have lots of the colors, or almost everything is right in the middle, and like here and in here, and this means you have a lack of contrast. Sorry for this. It was probably a little bit flashing lights for you. Sorry. So you have this effect that you're not making use of the full range of grayscales. So 0 is always black and 255 is white. These are the 255 grayscales that we have. And the more you make use of the full range, the more contrast you have. And you're not doing this here. Let's quickly try. If I turn this curve down, it will make the dark values a bit darker. And if I take this up here, it will make the brighter a bit brighter. And I'm going to make this a little bit extreme right now, so you see the difference. You see the contrast compared to before. Let's compare. Is massively going up, and the colors are getting more brilliant automatically because the brighter values head more into the brightness and come out with a nice sweet brilliance. This is of course way too extreme, but just to give you an impression of like if you compare this, it gets really extreme how much we look through a kind of stained window into the scene. So that's the first thing I would try, is to get more saturation. For example, if we take this color here, this one, it's very desaturated, or yeah, not very, but in the middle. So if we go for a more saturated color here, for example, always a bit extreme, just to show you. For the green here as well, it's very downtown. This is really desaturated. So if we go for something like this for the hat, for the skin color as well, a bit brighter, stuff like that. So there you will see a huge improvement. this is the first thing about the colors. Just use a higher range. Personally, I don't like oversaturated colors, so I usually do not kind of, sorry. So this bar here is the saturation color. Also, again, every app has it. And I'm usually not going past probably this point here for all my colors. It's a bit of a taste thing. And you have to, of course, mix and match so the palette looks still consistent. But just try to head over to the right here and a bit brighter. And for the darker values, for example here, go a bit darker and try something like that, or even more like that, so it gets really dark, you know. Second thing is, in my opinion, that you can make much better use of shading and create more contrast through shading. This isn't directly about colors, because it's kind of it affects the colors, but it's not about picking the colors in the first place. But I mean, this is kind of the this is a train wagon, right? And we have this in train wagons we have this very weird light that comes from the top that is very hard, very cold and very hard. You don't have to be so cold here if you want to create a more warm environment, which you did here. But if you take this effect that you have when you're sitting in a train at night, and the light comes from above, you know, and it hits all the whole surface here very, very intensely, then you create very dark shadows. So I would go and, for example, these areas here that lie in the very shadow, I would make them real dark, real high contrast. And then I would probably, if you imagine not the whole, we see the lights here in the corner, this, if we imagine this is not the whole wagon has these light panels, but probably some are broken. I mean, this looks a bit fucked up probably with all the waste and the dirt on the walls. Probably some of the lights don't work anymore. So I'll probably make, for example, this area here as if the light doesn't really hit it here. So you have a beam of light here, and then you have this very dark, and then probably it fades out a bit here, because you're using the same amount of light that's hitting the surface in all areas of the image, you know. So it doesn't matter if you have this corner here, or this here, or this and this. The same amount of light hits the whole wagon, and that's not realistic, and it creates a bit of boringness. In my opinion, it doesn't even have to be too realistic sometimes, if it's for the sake of a cool look and an interesting contrast. So I would try that. So these are the two points I would tell you about the colors. My camera today also has a bit of high contrast. I just see it now. I'm looking a bit, it's a bit goth lighting. Well, I'm not that important, or at least not that you can see me. Okay, so that's that. I like the storytelling, it's really great, and I'm giving you probably 1 or 2 tips to increase the effect and to enhance the environmental storytelling, because I think you're doing a great environmental storytelling. What that means is that you see that this character is floating through space here with this satellite and this planets and stuff like that. This is great. We see that it is in a non-gravitational environment, because here the can and the book here and stuff flies around. I would, for example, take something like that here, this book, which looks really cool. It's really nicely done, and leave this as it is, but add one probably here large in the foreground, for example. Maybe some pages can even like float around, like flap around, you know. So you have a little bit more foreground, like you did here, by the way. This element is nice, showing a bit of foreground. Why not add another can of soda here overlapping the satellite a bit, or just to create even more depth and to tell more of the story you're already telling in a very nice way. For example, that is really dirty there, not only a bit but really. So that's that. And apart from that, I think it's great. And I think what you do very nicely is, I get a feeling of that this guy is a very lonely traveler in his dream. He's in a dream, right? And I think it's very nice that you create this feeling of loneliness. I would probably even zoom out the whole scene a bit like this and show. I don't know if it's possible. I mean, you don't want to get or have this one too small, right? But just to show that there's other seats, but all the seats are empty. So you see that there's this emptiness, and also like through his, again, environmental storytelling or kind of this objectified storytelling in this case, that you have this case above him that is completely in a totally abandoned luggage tray and stuff. So that's really nice. Well done. And I would say focus on this kind of storytelling elements and try to increase your ability of giving objects and giving the environment more meaning, right? You're on the perfect way there. Really great. And I'd love to see what happens with this little guy and his dreams in space. So I hope that was helpful for you, Dan, and thanks again for submitting your work. Always a pleasure looking at your drawings and giving you feedback. And let's head over to Sirius now. And you have something special again for me this month. Yeah, I'm always appreciating that you are giving me different kind of critique tasks. It's great. And you have sent me 4 images in total, so I just go through them quickly. So this one here, I stacked them a bit so I can arrange this in Procreate a bit better. And then you have kind of made a teaser image for your Empty Temples project. And these are the 3 empty temples you made so far, or sent me. So, and what you're writing is not only would like to get a general critique of these works, but kind of more, you'd like to hear what I think about this project in general, and if it makes sense to go with a different style than you're known for. And this is, of course, a topic we could kind of talk about 2 hours while having a beer. It's really, especially the style topic, of course. And I have an opinion on that. I'm going to let you know a short version of it. It is not that defined in red, black or white. So there's really a huge gray area when it comes to this style thing. And let's probably have a look at the artworks first, and then talk about the style and see where this is going, and if I can keep this in around about 10 minutes. I don't think so, but let's see. So basically, I really like these artworks. I don't know if you know Defaced. I just quickly had his Instagram here. Oh, now it's gone. Oh, here it is again. And it reminds me of Defaced. This is not to tell you shouldn't do this because there's another artist making something similar. This is more of a compliment because I love Defaced. And he's, with his shape language, I think he's in the same direction a bit, but he's doing a characters a lot and with many details, more details than you have here. Just wanted to quickly throw this in because I find it interesting that I mean, if you don't know him, check him out for sure. So this reminded me of Defaced, and this is because I love this. It's great. I love graphic styles, vector illustration very much. And I think it's a field that has a lot of potential in general because you can very easily pivot or head over into a client freelance direction, because this style is very interesting for corporates and for startups, because They love to have this style for their website graphics and to explain processes, to spice up their pitch decks and whatnot. And you can also go more into this artistic direction, which I would see this one, these here in, that are more free, more expressive, you know. And this is great. So very many opportunities for this style. I've done lots of vector illustrations. Vector, as a German, we always want to say vector. Vector illustrations. Before I headed over to almost only working with hand-drawn graphics or hand-drawn illustrations, but I have quite the background on that, and I think you're doing really nice. I love the MC Escher style perspectives mixed with these floral elements. So these here, just a second, these here combined with these very straight shapes, then these weird perspectives. It's really nice, and you manage to find your unique language within a field that is often a bit where variation is often a missing point, I think. In my opinion, if you manage to have a vector style that is unique, then you have a nice point on your side. So actually, I do not have that much to criticize about this. So this critique is more like to tell you that I love this. I would do a couple of things differently. So something that hits my eye here are these shadings here. These look a bit untidy. I see that you're working with a lot of glow. So you have overflowing glow, for example, from this element, the glow seems to go over here. Part of it may be the low resolution, I'm not sure, but you have sometimes some weird shadings that look a bit dirty, if I may say so. So like this, I would try to, if you use this, if you used a gray or black brush with and multiplied it with a background, try using not the multiply brush or multiply layer, but take the color, for example, take this color here and go with less brightness to create these shadings. So whoopsie, so maybe a bit more saturated to make it look a bit cleaner. For example, if I compare this, you see the difference here. So this is gray and this is the original kind of color. It takes more time, it's more difficult, but I think it would be worth it here. Because if you go with this style, it doesn't allow much room for example, for these dirty gradients and stuff like that, because you see this pops to the eye much quicker, much easier, because when you have a hand-drawn stuff or something that is extremely detailed, that like your usual work, you have of course more room for, I don't want to call it little errors or little mistakes, but you have more room for working a little sloppier, you know, and you don't have that here. So I would really try to clean up the gradients. And yeah, color palettes are nice. I would pay attention a little bit to consistent color palettes, not in terms of that you use the same colors in all pieces, but to align them a little bit. Because, for example, I have a feeling here that in this piece here you used more desaturated colors and a higher range of different values, while here you're going with very bright, more saturated colors and kind of the neon thing here. This neon blue, this green here. Here you go a bit darker, of course, taking out a bit saturation, but I would try to make it look more from the same collection, you know. But that's really just nuances, because through your style you already have a very distinctive and very clear direction. So really just like to get the last 5% out of it. The teaser image, by the way, I love. It's great. See, you have more clear gradients here as well. So this one here, this one here, this is also nice here with changing the color from purple, from pink to purple here. Nice, very nice way of shading this. So I think you did a bit better here. Maybe that's already the improvement. I don't know, but I like this header. It's a nice header image as well. So now the time is almost up, and I didn't even talk about the whole style thing. Let's make it quick. But I need to talk about this. I can't let this opportunity go. So in terms of career planning and your success when it comes to growing audiences, getting clients, stuff like that, keeping your style is a thing to consider, because you are making it harder for yourself if you change your style. This is standpoint A, right? Standpoint B, and both are correct, and you have to choose what you want to do. Standpoint B is you give a shit about anything and experiment and go with 2 or 3 different styles, balance them, and you're probably happier in the end, because you are you work on your stuff, and this makes you a more balanced person and creates more nice input and nice output for your brain, you know? So these are the black and whites, kind of. I would really try to go with your gut there. And I assume your gut tells you to do this collection that is very different from your usual work. But I'd advise you to not lose sight of the first standpoint, and to keep in mind to keep a personal branding in mind. This could mean that you start a dedicated Instagram account just for this, that you create a certain portfolio that just has this style, up to the point, which I don't know if it's necessary, but up to the point where you create an alternative artist personality. I've seen it, people do it, up to the point, the extreme point of sorry, I just thought I wasn't recording. Oh my god. Sorry. So some people do it up to the point where both of their artist profiles don't have anything to do with each other, and people do not know that it's the same artist. I mean, musicians do it, visual artists do it as well. And I wouldn't say that this is necessary, but just to give you an impression of what you can do to keep a clean personal branding. I don't like the fact that social media pushes people who are consistent, that clients prefer artists that are more consistent, etc. It's really annoying to me, because experimentation and different visual styles are part of a lot of artists' personalities. So I would really advise you to find a middle way. As a conclusion, maybe I would really go with this collection. I would do it. It's great. It's something that I haven't seen too often in the space as well. So this graphic style is something that has its place still in the NFT space. And yeah, if you want to animate them, if you want to go for more details, animations would be fantastic, in my opinion. More details, no need to. I think no need to. Let's have a look at this, for example. Imagine these plants like waving a little bit in the wind, like going like this, you know. The moon panning a little bit here, or maybe some kind of parallax effect or so. So you have this building here in the front, and you shift in this parallax effect, the same effect that I use for my reflections cards and tickets, where I made the tutorial a couple of weeks ago. I see that very much, really, and it's, in my opinion, really easy to do that if you know a couple of basic After Effects. More details? I don't think so. I think even this one here probably is on the edge of the maximum details something should have that you do in this style. But that's just my personal feeling, of course. So this was a little excursus into art styles. I'm surprised that I was able to keep it within a quarter hour. So serious. Many thanks again for submitting this really cool topic, this cool work, to give me this input. It makes me, as I mentioned before, makes me think about this stuff from a different perspective as well, and I'm learning a lot through this. The whole topic with the styles is, of course, really something for a whole kind of workshop or pep talk or whatever. It's fascinating, it's interesting, and it will never be boring to talk about this. Guys, July is here. Today's 1st of July. So that means there will be another art critique in the end of July, most likely the last week of July. And if you want to submit something, just join my golden plastic pen tier on Patreon. You'll find the link below if you're looking for it. And you can submit something until very much the end of July if you want me to criticize your work, to give you feedback and hopefully valuable advice. So, friends, have a nice weekend. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.